This is a bit of what Finley learned while with us in our 3-week custom program. The purpose of this particular 3-week custom program was to work on Finley's fear as well as to pursue intermediate and advanced obedience training. Finley came to us unable to comfortably get into a car or do anything new, so here is the incredible progress he's made while with us. Here is his real-world leash training, where we got him out downtown and worked him around a lot of busy and loud environments, around a lot of people and a lot of other dogs. The goal of each walk is to have a loose leash. If you're feeling the need to make constant tension on the leash, then check your dog's positioning and see if he's making you uncomfortable with where he's standing or if you are just lacking confidence during the walk. Notice how I am keeping a very short leash, yet there is a lot of slack. This is making it so that when he veers left or right, he is getting a small cue with the collar. Right now I am walking him on a Herm Springer training collar. It is a prong collar. With any of the corrections, we want to always use the lowest correction that the dog will listen to. Finn is very gentle and doesn't require many actual corrections by keeping the leash short, however very loose. He's actually self-correcting here throughout the video, which is what I really want to see. So he steps out of bounds, he feels the collar and says, okay, I'm not supposed to do that, so he backs off. You can issue a correction if he refuses to sit when you stop or refuses a command, and you'll do this by not tugging on the collar, but rather using a quick snapping motion to give a light correction and then immediately release. The goal is to mimic the speed of a mother dog or a dominant dog saying, hey, no, don't do that. Only bad dogs are going to bite and hold, so you never want to be biting and holding on his neck. Do remember that while using the collar, any amount of tension you are putting on that, he is feeling, and he is very sensitive, so we don't want to ruin that sensitivity that he has. We can preserve that sensitivity by making sure the leash is nice and loose and only issuing corrections after you have given him opportunities to listen to you without corrections. I generally follow a 1-2-3 rule. I give the dog a command, then I tell the dog to do that command, and then I have the dog follow through with the command that I said. It's very important to not punish him if he is fleeing away from a situation. I haven't had this happen in quite some time. However, you may encounter it if something startles him. Make sure you are not correcting him with the prong collar if he is walking backwards. The last thing we want a dog to do that is having a flight response is to feel like they can't flee, because that is when things like aggression happen. He understands that he is in full control of this collar at all times, and every collar. A dog that does not understand that they are in full control of what's happening around their neck has a tendency to lash out, because they feel like they can't flee, so the only thing they can do is fight. Here you see the incredible progress he has made with his loading skills. Before this, it took about a half an hour to get him into the back of the car. Now he is going in all on his own. He's also been very ready to go every morning for his walk. What you're seeing here is an example of some of the things I've been doing to solidify his nerves and to socialize him some more. There were people sitting around in the park, and I'm working on his look command, where I tell him to look at me. When I get direct eye contact, then I'm going to issue a food reward. It's very important that when I say look, he looks directly into my eyes and not at the food. I am to be rewarding his eye contact, not treat contact. Anytime you stop, I want to see him sitting. He's been doing very good with an auto sit. However, for the first week or two, go ahead and issue the verbal sit command when you stop, just to get him used to doing things with you as well. I also have been in the process of already weaning out food rewards. Again, I recommend that you continue with food rewards with him for the next month, and then slowly transition them out. That means with you, for every glance at you, give him a treat. For every command done correctly, you're going to want to also give him a treat. For every fear overcome, give him a treat. This will not create a treat-dependent dog, but will rather reward him for doing the proper behaviors for you. You also don't want to continue the treats for more than 2 months, unless you are working on a new command or more advanced training. By getting nervous dogs out in situations like this, we're really helping to build their confidence. He's now walking over grates on the ground very happily. He's not frightened of them. Every little thing he does and he overcomes makes him stronger. He has come a very long way in the time that he has been here. He has overcome a lot of fear. He didn't even want to come out of his kennel at first. He just wanted to sit and hide. To begin with, when we started our walks, we would have to cut them short because he would start out seemingly okay, but by the end of the walk was vastly overwhelmed. But now, he actually is excited when he gets out of the car, so he may sniff a little, he may turn a little from side to side, and then by the end of the walk, he's walking very calmly and flawlessly right by my leg, which is exactly what I want to see. With him, I'm happy to see a little bit of head turning and a little bit of attempts to sniff, because that's showing me that he is having a wonderful time. He was also worked with by Ryan, and here's the two of them together. I thought it beneficial to work the both of us with him, just to give him a man and a woman and 2 different training styles, and he flourished under Ryan's e-collar training as well. You'll see an example of that in a minute. Here's some command work. He graduated at an intermediate level while with us in his first camp. I like to use hand signals. Dogs use body language and it helps them learn very quickly. Recall work is very important. I'm using the e-collar to vibrate the collar. He has a very wonderful vibration recall. Notice again, I'm using my hand signals to tell him what I'm wanting him to do. He is focusing and paying attention. Now you want to make sure every time you go through his commands that you break it up some. So don't always do sit, stay, down, come. Throw in look in there occasionally. Sometimes say sit, stay, come. Sometimes say sit, stay, and then don't have him come to you. Simply walk back to him to give him the food reward. By doing this, you're going to prevent things like walking up to your dog and having them try every command that they know in order to get the treat. Instead, they're going to be listening to you. Here's an example of his recall, even when he wanted to go play with his favorite toy. He was still very responsive to the vibration recall. And then he was able to come to me, sit, and have a nice food reward. and did the majority of his off-leash and command training. And here's the two of them working together. By using two people, it kind of helps ease the transition from us to you, because he's already used to listening to those commands from multiple people. Fortunately, he is also very toy-driven, so you can even use toys to run through his commands. See how I had him sit, and then I released him with go ahead to go and retrieve his toy. Also make sure to have him sit before entering and exiting doors. This is going to keep his focus on you from the very start of things. That also helps to build a lot of respect. Here's a drill that I want you to continue with him. So find a spot to where the noise level is very high, the distraction level is very high, and put him in a down stay. See how he got up from this down stay and I placed him right back down in it? That's solidifying that yes, I do want him to lay there. And I'm increasing this time day after day until I get him up to over 5 minutes. So I want you to continue with this. It is very good for him to be focused on you while things like lawn care are going on right beside you guys. It really helps build his trust and help him realize that he can do something else with that fear energy. He can use it, channel it, and focus on you entirely and trust you. Here is some of the off-leash training we were working at another park. I've taken him to several locations just because I found that very beneficial for him, as he didn't have a lot of social skills. His socialization was very lacking, and by getting out and doing some things, it really helped him open up. So I made sure that we went to several new locations and saw lots of new people, places, and things. Here you can see I am starting the basics of an off-leash heel. What this transitions to is just a full e-collar, the dog beside me constantly in a flawless heel. He's doing very wonderfully. I didn't expect him to get this far in the weeks that he was with us due to the fear issue. However, he's been doing spectacularly with this out in high distraction environments. He is a very talented dog. He's very, very intelligent, and he can really go as far as you want him to, and as far as you have time to work with him on. The thing I liked most seeing with him was he did lack a lot of socialization. However, he immediately showed recovery from that. Every new thing he would meet reasonably, and even if he had some fear, he was able to get through it. And that's the most important thing. It's not so much how much are they afraid of, but it's how fast they can overcome it, and is their day ruined because of it. Here I'm working on strengthening his leave it command around some squirrels. He is doing very good at listening to me and leaving the squirrels alone as opposed to pulling me across the park to go and chase them.